All right, so we have quorum now, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. It's 5:35 PM and we're gonna call the meeting to order. Ben, can you do roll call?
Yes, do roll call. Doug Mendenhall,
Absent.
absent. Michaela Emerson,
Here.
John is still. He's muted, but he's on. Oh, there's Kathy.
Oh, there's Kathy.
I'm
Made
so-
it. Roll call.
I had. But I just said.
Oh, yeah, that train comes at the worst time. John, are you able to unmute? Just to confirm that you can hear us?
We have a view where you can see the list of.
Oh, yeah, click on participants down at the bottom.
He's trying to connect audio.
There we go. Oh, he's not. I see he doesn't have audio.
He's trying to connect. But he's here, we can see him, so should we mark him here? Or do you want to make sure he can hear?
Well, we have.
We have
Kathy here, we
quorum,
have quorum
yeah,
anyway, so-
anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, but
So
let's.
John's here, he's not able to hear us. Todd Vaughn.
Yes.
I'm here too, but I don't know if I signed in, if you can see my name, but this is Lisa.
Lisa Lanza is here and Kathy Carreri
Here.
is here. I think we're good.
Okay, so we're just missing one.
Just
Okay,
one.
perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're online, go ahead and keep yourself muted and you can join along with us. Sherry, you want to lead the pledge?
Sure.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to our consent agenda. We do not have our meeting minutes for October 21st, and we're going to have to table that for the next meeting. The preventative maintenance report, however. Is that attached?
Yes.
Where am I? Oh, here it is. All right. Are you presenting that or is Andre here?
Andre's online, I don't know if he wants
What are we
to,
presenting, sorry?
the preventative maintenance. Andre, do you wanna jump in or? We're at 100%, for October, we were at 100%. On time.
Perfect. Yeah, we've only had a small miss that looked like earlier this year, but 3 months, 100% on time.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, he's not on there now.
He's not on.
Happened to him, he was there.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the preventative maintenance?
It was an
report?
information only, it doesn't need an approval or anything.
Yeah. Any questions about it?
Isn't it just, is it just oil changes, greasing and just stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah, we have a certain preventative maintenance schedule that we have to follow for the
Sure.
buses. The vans are, they're all a little bit different. But yeah, so it's just the basic maintenance and the 5,000 mile inspections and that kind of thing.
And every one of the vehicles has its own little set of paperwork where you're.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Good.
And we've been 100% for the last 3 months in a row. so-
Sorry.
Okay. Cool, we're just speeding right through this. All right, do we have Jennifer online?
Who is there? I see her.
Jennifer, do you have a ODOT update for us?
I do. The grants are due, the 5311, 5310 are due on 11/20/24, and Sherry's already submitted those after your committee approved them. So yay, Sherry. Moving on to January 16th will be the STIF, and I think that they have their stiff stack committee scheduled for next week or the week after. First week of December, I think, is when it's scheduled. So they'll be able to make decisions on that. And then Sherry can put that into Cognito and get that one completed. So yay, team.
Yeah.
We have a drug and alcohol training that's going to be available online December 2nd through the 4th from 9 to noon each one of those days. So definitely if you have staff that are needing to take that, it's going to be offered by RLS, and we'll have the registration coming out very soon. We are also going to have a grant management training in January, the week of around January 20th, and it will include information about what the funding is available for and what you can do and what we need in order to reimburse. And then we're also going to include how to update your Title VI plan. That will be completed, or that part of the training will be done by the Office of Civil Rights. And then I wanted to let you know about a board member and budget committee member training that is coming up. You want to get signed up for that. ORS 192-700 requires that all elected and appointed members of public bodies that hold public meetings in a decision in which a decision is made and a quorum is required attend public meeting law training once per term. For board members, that's typically once every 4 years. In the budget committee, it's once every 3 years. And I have the link, and I'll put it in the chat, and then I'll also send it by email so that if you guys want to get signed up for that, they have several different dates that are available. And I'm on the budget committee for the school district, so I need to take the classes as well. So,
Jennifer, when was the grant management training? Did you have a date, or
January
is it
20th.
I
coming?
don't have
Okay.
an exact date yet because it's the week of Martin Luther King Day. So we're looking at probably Wednesday of that week. And
Okay.
it'll more than likely be about a half day, or we might split it up and do half in the morning, take a lunch, and then come back in the afternoon.
Is that remote?
It will be, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, most of our classes in the winter, we try to do remote because we have a lot of people that live in Eastern Oregon that don't want to travel. We will be having several other classes coming up in the coming year. We're working on the schedule for that, and we'll keep you alerted. And then I also wanted to offer, if y'all wanted to have some sort of a grant management or a grants 101 or FTA 101 for the board and your stiff stack, I'm happy to do that because I have a couple different presentations I've done at different events for that.
Yes, we were trying to get that scheduled, and I'm sorry for not getting back to you quite yet on that, Jennifer, but yeah, we're gonna find some dates that work for the board. It's sounding like we might be able to do something not quite, so we had talked about maybe like, evening, but we might be able to do it like around 3 or 4, so it's not so late for you.
Yeah, either way, I'm available and willing to do that.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll get some dates that they have
And then
available.
I'm looking forward to meeting your new compliance coordinator so that we can get started on those compliance findings to try to knock off the ones that are 30 days. So whenever he starts, then I will be happy to meet with him and start working on some of those things and helping him with anything that he needs.
Perfect. So I actually have a question though about the Title VI. So one of our compliance findings was to update our Title VI notice to make sure that it's consistent across every platform.
Yes.
That we have the same language, and there's several different places where that needs to be put. That is a 30-day compliance or action plan item for us though. And this training you said is not until January. So that's going to be after.
Yeah, that's actually, the training in January is our Title VI plan. I can get a like a sample of what your Title VI notice needs to be from Amy at RLS. So we just need to shoot her an email because I know that she sent one to Curry County when we just did their compliance review. So we can, any of those things that you need samples of, We can ask RLS, or I can ask some of my counterparts that work around the state, because they've done compliance reviews also. So we don't want to recreate the wheel if we don't have to. So let's try to find some good samples.
Perfect. And just so you know, we have several of these policies that we're needing to update for that 30-day window that we're going to be talking about tonight. So we're going to be able to check off a bunch of these items. So we're kind of excited about that.
Yep, once they're adopted and we review them and make sure that they're all good, then we will go ahead and get those checked off. So that's fantastic.
Yay. Okay.
Clap,
All right. Did you have anything else, Jennifer?
I don't believe so. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to our financial report. Sherry?
Did everybody have a chance to review the financial report? Are there any questions? Our balance sheet, the report, is just a quick snapshot of UPTV's assets and liabilities. So our total current assets are 932,655.59. Current liabilities at the end of October were 38,895.91 for a total equity of 893,759.68. Our P&L, the total, for the quarter, last month we were in the negative because we were still waiting for some reimbursements. So the for the months of October, November, December, this quarter, the district has had a net income of 308,799.59. The P&L does not include the cash on hand at the beginning of the fiscal year. It only includes the amounts that were received and paid out for this quarter so far. And that the beginning balance was 747,685.67. The quarterly P&L includes the Q2 state funds of 542,964, fare box revenues of 20,086.42, and then miscellaneous advertising and interest of $2,028.09. And then our medical transportation funds were 44,143.90. For the fiscal year, a lot of the same information just from July till now. And then the P&L from 2018 till now. So overall, for all of the history of UPTD, we are at a net income of 898,759.68. And then there's the October variance report in there that shows any variances for the month of either 500 over or under, and then about 5,000 for the year to date over or under, and then the bank statement.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Sherry, you guys?
Nope.
All right. Okay, then let's move on
I think
to,
we just have to, do we have to make a motion to approve or no?
oh, for this, you're right. Okay. No, we don't.
We don't,
No,
is it just informational?
yeah, that
Okay,
is information. We don't have to approve it.
okay,
No. And then, but the sixth act committee, we do.
yes.
And that's a separate one. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, so the STIP stack committee just met last week and they made some recommendations. And are you presenting
I'm the
that
chair,
or
she's also on our committee right there.
are you presenting or is?
Oh,
is-
I can
No, she can
present,
present.
yeah, I'll present.
I'm here because I think I should be.
Good.
Just to
I was
sit
gonna
back
say,
here.
but you sit at the table that way.
No, I'm just sit back and observe. I'm just like everybody else here. Thank
So the only,
you though very much, Ben.
the only recommendations that we made for this meeting was for the 5310. Because those applications are due on Wednesday and I wanted to make sure we had the final numbers in the application. So at the STIP committee meeting, the 5310 funding, the committee approved to have 70,000.
You can get to go. I'll get it.
$70,003 for the contracted services with a match. With a match of $8,012. Mobility management, $803,095 with a match of $91,918.
Yeah.
And then the preventative maintenance was $50,249 with a match of $5,751. So that
We're
is,
meeting on December.
we are meeting on December the 4th. And then we will be discussing, the stiff,
Mhm.
the stiff,
Yes.
plan.
Yeah.
We also, Jennifer, do they need to approve the 5311 funds that I've,
We have to approve that on the 4th of December.
Do you have to approve it on the 4th of December?
no,
Yes,
no,
ma'am.
no, I'm asking for the 5310 funding, because tonight, the board is gonna approve our allocations for 5310. Do they also need to approve the allocations for the 5311?
It would be best if they did, yes.
Okay, I have that on here as well.
Mhm.
This does not fall under the SIP stack committee meeting though.
Okay.
And this was, we did a little bit different. Historically, we have broken down our 5311 grant into 3 categories, which was administration, operations, and preventative maintenance.
Mhm.
Operations has the biggest match rate of like 43.92, I think it is. And administration and PM only have 10% match. So this go around, we have plenty of administration expenses.
Mhm.
So this go around, it's my recommendation, so that we can take advantage of the lesser match rate, to break the federal grant into 2 categories, administration and preventative maintenance. So, my recommendation would be to do administration at $1,013,947 with a match rate of $116,051. And then preventative maintenance at $358,920 federal funds and state match at $41,080. So the ODOT has already provided us with what to expect for those grants. So I've taken what their projections have been, and this is my recommendation on how to split them up.
And what is the impact without having the operations in there?
There's really no impact. Most of our operations, especially because this would be for our fixed route.
Okay.
So most of our operations right now comes out of our STIF funding. So it just means that we'll do less administration on our STIF funding and more operations. But the match rate is 10% versus 43%.
Yeah, strategically, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so Jennifer just recommended that I talk to some of the other folks, some of the other transit agencies to see how they did it. And
And this is what they do.
it is.
I like it.
And I don't know if Jennifer can add anything to it since you're my best resource, Jennifer.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea to try to maximize those lower match rates whenever possible. So you have 0 match on the STIF. So if you can move any of that stuff over to these 5310 and 5311, then it's a good deal to get those lower match rates. Stretches your dollars farther.
It does. I did have on this sheet that I provided you, the 5311, the current, so we have that current grant that Cheryl had that 1 bus ordered. This grant expires in, I believe it's June of 2025. So I have Andre right now. I've asked him to contact I don't know if it's our contractor that we contract to order the bus. I don't know if it's Northwest Bus, but the bus was ordered through Shetke. So I've asked him to just contact them and find out where we are with that, because
When does it
if
have
we're
to
not
be
gonna,
received?
well, it has to be received before June 30th of 2025. So, and I haven't been involved in any of those conversations.
Okay,
I think he said that he did speak with one of them and they said that the bus is in, like buildup. But, I don't know.
so
if
that's
he-
use it or lose it money.
It is, but this is the one that we had that 28,355, that match, that
Mhm.
money set aside for.
Mhm.
So we just, I'm gonna have him kind of be the guy that heads this up and keeps us informed. I think Jennifer, I know that we've extended grants in the past.
These were
Is that-
already extended one time and they will not
Okay.
extend them any further.
Okay,
Um, Yeah, so this one, and this is the grant that had the other vehicles that we found homes for on it.
Yeah.
So we were able to, yeah. So you definitely want to use at least a part of it because it shows that that was one of the deals that we kind of made was you're going to go ahead and get rid of those other ones and then keep this one because you need one to replace an older vehicle.
right, so I guess I will talk to Andre too and see if he can check on the status of those vans as well. Since we already have other entities that are interested in them.
Oh, we already distributed those. Yeah, they were already,
Good.
Joe and I found homes for all of them. So you guys don't have to worry about that one.
But have they been delivered?
To the other agencies, yes.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Cause I haven't seen anything about them. I haven't heard
Well, you
anything.
shouldn't because we
Okay.
told them that you guys were not going to be ordering them and they were switching to these other agencies. So they're working directly with the vendor now.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah, you guys don't have to worry about those. Those are
great. Okay, so we just need to worry about the one bus.
the one bus. Yep.
Well, they have 7 months to figure it out,
They have
right?
7 months to figure it out and hopefully, yeah, they will be
Yeah.
delivered, but I'm gonna have Andre keep in touch with them to
Okay,
keep on them
It
and
was
find out progress is.
Yeah, I think it was originally supposed to come in September, so I would keep after them for sure and say, hey, what's the deal on this one? And if,
Okay.
Andre, if you need any help from Joe Heberline, he's our capital program manager. He can call and talk to the vendors and try to help you in any way.
Okay. Yeah, I've been speaking with Kevin at Shetsky Bus, and the bus is in buildup. Just don't have an exact delivery time at this point.
But you're going to let him know that we have like a drop dead date, right? That cannot be.
Yes, I had a call in for him today, but he didn't call me back today. But I talked to him on Friday because we had spoke possibly about getting a different color, which would have saved the district $9,000 if we would have ordered it in white. But it had already been at build up at that point in time.
So we can't, have to have a blue, yeah. So this one we do need to make a motion and vote on it, so. Does
So-
anybody else do you have any more questions about the allocations and?
and we're changing this motion to recommendations for the 5310 and 5311
Yes.
funding. All right. All right. Does any board member want to make that motion?
So moved.
All right, the motion is to accept the recommendations for the 5310 and 5311 funding. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
I,
All those opposed? None. Lisa, were you an aye?
I was trying to be, but
I
I didn't get there in time.
Okay. All right, so that passed unanimously. All right. Where are we? Okay, so we're gonna move on to public comment for agenda items only. If you are online and you would like to be part of public comment, if you could put your name in the chat or just come off briefly off of mute and let us know that you're out there and you'd like to speak. And then Is there anyone here that would like to do public comment?
I was gonna do public comment, but it's only related to agenda items only, so I'll have to
Yes.
keep track.
Okay. And you want to talk about something on the agenda? Okay. Did you need an agenda? You don't have one?
Oh,
I don't have one. Do you know what's on the agenda?
No.
Okay. Take a look at it really quickly. These are on agenda items only for public comment right now. We'll do a second public comment at the end. That is not on agenda. Is there anybody online that wants to talk?
Anybody?
No.
No hands are raised.
Okay. So I'll let you check just really quickly, Donis. Is there something on the
Yeah,
agenda you
there's
want to
something
talk
that my
about?
son Justin can't be here, so he wanted to definitely say something.
What is it about the agenda?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Which agenda item would you like
It
to
is
speak on?
under the, where is it he was talking about? Oh, it would be under the new business. I want to talk about that,
Either the board vacancy or the employee handbook.
the, board vacancy.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and it's just say your name for the record and what city you live in.
We live in Roseburg off of Roberts Creek Road and right up the hill from the.
You don't have to give that much detail.
But anyway, off of Roberts Creek Road, and near for Kelly's Corner,
Perfect.
right there. And, my son Justin right now, in fact, that's where I'm gonna be going at 6:30. He and my son are about to be inducted into a fraternal organization. And so we're really excited, and so that's why he's not here right now, he's getting ready. But he wanted, people to know that under the, board vacancy appointment, he's actually been talking to some people where he works.
Mhm.
And there was a couple older gentlemen in their late 40s, early 50s that say they might be interested. And so I guess we're supposed to put them in touch with somebody here on the board, right?
Actually, the application was due by 5 o'clock today for this meeting. And we did receive a few applications.
Oh, good.
It's been advertised now for, I think, over a month
Yeah.
or about a month, so.
And that's why they told Justin to tell me, and so I had no idea what was going on as far as the advertisement. So maybe there can be another place for them somewhere else later on. But anyway, I
Absolutely.
just want to let you know, Justin has been out there. What do you call it? Scouting, Ben?
You call it that?
Recruiting.
Recruiting? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think we call it scouting or recruiting
Yeah,
or skull hunting or something.
But we
But
do
anyway.
we do have some openings on the stick stack committee still, so
Okay.
we can
Which
have
that's
more
right up
members.
my alley, right?
Yeah, and so we want more people involved, absolutely. Thank you, Donna, so much for that.
Yes, not a problem.
Okay, we're gonna
Thank you.
move on to old business. And hopefully we can get through some of these items kind of quickly. Status on the Dial-A-Ride contract. So we have some good news.
We do.
Yeah, who's given that report?
I can just talk
Okay.
about it if you want.
Okay.
So, we were able to execute a contract with Reedsport. I am working on the one with Sunrise, but they don't receive federal funds, so, I mean, we still have to have one. But we were able to get the contract and the vehicle lease agreement in place as of Friday. We delivered 2 vehicles out to Reedsport and brought their 2 old vehicles back. And this week I will probably get down to the DMV and get those titles titled properly. And so then we can do a request, a disposal of them. But I think that their services were online as of today.
That's so awesome.
Yes,
So
they were
exciting.
very excited.
Yay. And they got a couple new vehicles, which I know is going to be huge for the
Yes.
Reedsport area. They have needed better vehicles, so I'm
Can I ask
so
a question in
glad.
regards to that?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, but we gotta keep it, to the board only. Right now, we can do public comment in a little while.
Okay.
So Jennifer, I am hoping to get the Sunrise because they should be easier since they're not leasing any vehicles, but I am working on those as we speak.
Perfect.
And it's actually also been
Sunrise and
very
VRTF,
helpful going through these contracts because it's helping us with some of the other policies that we're putting in place. That have gone into the procurement policy to make everything sort of whole for this compliance review, so. Which is a great segue 8.2 compliance review update. So we received our RLS compliance review. I believe there were, is it 43 findings? Let's see.
I think just 39.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll have to go double check. 'Cause
Shoot, oh, more.
I think it was 43. Oh, well, that's what I've written down. But
48 when I started.
anyway, the good news is that some of those were actually already taken care of before we got the review, because we kind of had an idea of where there were some things that needed to be cleaned up. So those have been worked on a little bit. We should also be able to send some information over to Jennifer to get some of these other items, the ones that are due within 30 days, checked off. I know Ben's been working really hard on it. Sherry's been working really hard. Andre, I don't know if he's still on there, is a rock star and has done so much for our procurement policy. So once again, we're gonna talk about this in just a second, but we do have some additional updates to our procurement policy that specifically address some of these compliance things. So we're reopening that again today, but you guys kind of knew that was coming. We're gonna probably be opening that procurement policy up for revision over the next few months, just to make sure that we're 100% in compliance. So I don't have anything else really to say on that. Did you have anything to add, or Ben, did you have anything? No? Okay, we're working on it, Jennifer. We're knocking them out, one at a time.
Awesome.
Sometimes more than one at a time.
Talk about the SharePoint.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit.
Is
So,
there anything for them so that they can
you mean for
find out
Jennifer?
how they want?
Well, that's actually a good idea. So Jennifer, just to kind of let you know, and this does go into our action plan update a little bit too. These are sort of tied together. So the board has our own tracker, and I'm not sure if you guys probably have your own tracker too, but we're keeping each other accountable. But we have a tracker where we are pulling out from the remedy section, we're pulling out action items that need to be completed in order to be in compliance. And what we're gonna start doing is gathering those documents in a single place. I think we're gonna use a SharePoint where we can probably easily give you, Jennifer, access to that folder so that you can go in and view the things that we have completed on the action plan. So that's sort of a problem that we were working through today, and we're trying to leverage technology a little bit so we can all work from the different places that we're working from.
Yes, and I will need a copy of each one of the documents for our files here at ODOT 2.
Absolutely. Yeah, you will have access to everything. So
So are we going to create in-house most of these forms? Or will they be a generic form that we can?
Okay, that's a great question. So, and we're kind of moving into procurement policy update, which is perfect segue. Thank you. We're just going right through these. So the procurement policy actually was one of our major things in this compliance review that was completed, where we have basically had to rewrite the entire policy. And we got a sample policy from, was it Coos County? Coos Bay. From Coos Bay, and we've modified it a little bit just to make it our own. When they wrote that, it appears that they had certain forms that they were using in their process. And as you're sort of studying through the procurement policy and the process, it became pretty obvious that we needed to create some forms to go along with that. So Andre's been working on those standardized forms. When we're done with this, the idea is that the board will, accept the policy that's necessary for us to be in compliance. And then the district is going to build out the procedure for specifically what forms need to be done every single time they're going through their procurement process. And I don't know if you want to talk about this a little bit, but you've appointed a compliance officer, chief compliance officer, I believe is.
Hired. Yeah, we're gonna be changing, we're continually finalizing the reorganization.
Mhm.
And it's worked out really, really well. One of the
Yeah.
things we did was we moved Andre into procurement manager.
Yes.
And that's where this compliance with our procurement is really getting traction.
Mhm.
And so we have, that separation of duty. We also hired and supposed to start today, but there was a quick hang up, but we're gonna get that resolved hopefully this week. Yeah, we hired a new executive team member who's gonna be the compliance manager. I think we should change. We're not talking about guys about this and it's okay for us to do, but change the names of the titles of the executive team so that we can create that management layer and have it be clear. As Andre steps into that more management layer. And so, yeah, the compliance officer will be starting here very soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully as soon as this week, as soon as we can
Mhm.
get that one step out of the way, then we're gonna get him going, which is gonna be a very another big move for the district because he'll be able to
Yeah.
interface with ODOT, has a tremendous amount of experience in compliance with construction and everything else. He's a past employee
Mhm.
at the C level with ODOT, so
Yeah.
really excited to have him.
It's going to
That's
be very, very nice to have that experience. And then, so the other thing with the procurement policy update is that we, well, we have several procurements that need to be completed properly. So the nice thing is with all of the work that Andre's done to create these standardized forms that are going to go perfectly in alignment with the procurement policy that we're adopting, it should be really a streamlined process to do these RFPs and to get all of our procurements in line, which also satisfies our compliance review. So lots of really good stuff happening.
Out of curiosity, what is Andre's new position going to be? Is he gonna be the procurement officer?
His position is if you're asking me that,
Yeah.
his position is he's facilities manager, but he's also taken on procurement. So, in a lot of cases, we'll have, because we're a small district, we'll need to have two similar, job functions maybe tied together. So as we scale, if we do scale, as the community grows and it's required, then we can split that job back off into two and have a facilities and then a procurement. Right now, facilities and procurement go very well hand in hand because everything we purchase that's tangible is also a facility in a lot of cases.
Mhm.
And so, I think that's a really good match. It's a great seat for Andre. He's totally cut out for it. He's absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
The speed at which he's put this stuff together and pulled us into compliance is absolutely impressive. And so again, just a great choice to move him into that seat. And I look super good because of him.
Thank you,
Say that.
Andre.
Did you
Thank
negotiate a better deal, Andre? I'm just.
He actually did. He came back and got a better deal.
Good job, Andre. We
Well, and it's
appreciate
my
that.
honor too to get the district back in compliance and just seeing the success of UPTD. So that's my,
Thank you.
so.
Yay, thank you.
He'll be
Andre.
doing
Thank you, Andre.
facilities and the fleet, so he'll be handling the fleet as well.
Perfect.
All right,
And
so what,
I have started implementing it as of today and it's working really well. So
oh,
Wonderful.
good. That is
That
amazing.
is so awesome.
Okay, so we do have an action that we need to take on this. So we need to update or adopt the updated procurement policy. One of the things that was missing from the board packet, and I apologize, we've actually been working literally up until the meeting. So there have been changes that aren't even in your packet that I'm gonna tell you about really quickly, but we didn't get the summary printed out. So I'm just gonna read through what the summary is really quickly, so everyone can kind of understand. So the changes that you'll see in here, they're all highlighted, so you can go through and look and see what's changed. Excuse me, hold on. Okay, so the names of the forms that Andre is creating have been added throughout the document for clarity. There was an explanation of what the forms needed to do, but they weren't necessarily labeled this should provide clarity of more if then. So the names of the forms have been added in here. Also, there was a clause matrix requirement that needed to be outlined with a requirement to be updated annually. The compliance manager as the staff member responsible for upkeep. That is a requirement per our compliance review. And so that piece is being updated. Another thing that was added is the checklist was updated at the end of the procurement policy that adds the names of the forms for clarity. And then we included a requirement for verifying exclusions and disqualifications in the checklist, which is again another piece of the compliance review that needed to be changed. Previously in the checklist, it mentioned a requirement in here, and that word was changed to guidance because the checklist is really meant to be a guide, not a requirement. The policy is the requirement. And then included guidance to check the clause matrix in the checklist for all procurement types. And then we added a certification verification form to be in compliance with one of our compliance review updates. And what was the final thing? To add, if a recipient expends 750,000 or more in federal awards during their recipient's fiscal year, the recipient must have a single or program-specific audit, I'm losing my voice, you guys, conducted for that year in accordance with provisions of 2 CFR Part 200 Subpart F. And that was also in the compliance review. So that's what has been changed. Any questions? No. Oh. Okay, then I need a motion to approve the changes in the procurement policy.
I'll make a motion to approve the changes in the procurement policy as we just reviewed.
Okay, do I have a second?
Sorry.
Second. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Did we get Lisa and Dawn?
I was trying to say I again. It
Aye.
disappears every time I want it.
Okay. So
Hi, Captain.
Alright.
One absent.
Okay. We're doing great, you guys. Okay, so let's move on to new business. The board vacancy appointment. So, you guys have attached just one application. We actually received the second application. Is she online? No. Okay. So the second applicant, actually withdrew her application, because she wanted to support this application that we received. His name is, Gregory Kennerly. Greg Kennerly, I'm sorry. I'm losing my voice. I need to go get some water.
Can we get some?
Oh, you're a board member.
Okay, yeah. You gotta stay here for the forum.
You go behind me, watch
Oh.
the cord, I got the cord.
Thank you.
Trip.
Happy
Yeah.
some water.
Just don't trip on it.
Thank you. It's okay, I got a bottle.
Get back.
Okay, so, the applicant is Greg Kennerly. He is, I believe he is a police officer for the tribes. Is that correct?
Correct?
And, you guys all have his application in front of you. He is not able to attend tonight's meeting and had requested that we do, an interview later this week if possible. So. I'll let the board decide what they want to do with that.
He is a policeman for the tribe, as Michaela said, and he is working night shift right now, so
Mhm.
that's why he could not be here tonight. I did, speak to, Greg after he decided to go ahead and put in an application for this board,
Mhm.
and I actually, have met him before.
Mhm.
We were both running campaigns here in Douglas County recently, and I met him and had a meeting with him then. I think he's, just a great addition to this board,
Mhm.
in a number of different ways, his connection to the community, to the tribe,
Mhm.
What's his name?
Greg Kennerly.
Oh, yes, I voted for him.
Yeah, he ran for sheriff. The guy is just, he's just a great, in my opinion, from what I've seen of him in the 2 meetings I've had with him, personal meetings, he's a great guy. I think he'd be an absolutely great addition to the sport. That's my opinion. If you guys want to interview him before we, take a vote on him, that's fine with me also, but I would highly recommend, bringing him on
Yeah,
personally.
he has experience dealing with ODOT, which is great. You guys have the application.
I don't know if it's dry in here or something, but I'm having the same issue and you're having the same issue.
I don't know, but I know, it's terrible, and I have to talk.
Awful the last.
I have to talk. It's bad. Anybody online, Lisa, John? Do you have a feeling about what to do? Any comments?
It seems if we have done interviews prior, that it would be proper to actually interview him. I don't think that we should skip that process. But, since he couldn't make it because of work, that's acceptable for not being able to be here, obviously. So, but I'd like to get the interview done as soon as possible.
Yeah, perfect. So I think he said his availability was Thursday or Friday. I think he's free both of those days if this board has availability to interview.
Do we have to have a special meeting? Okay,
But it can be a brief meeting.
right.
Is there anything preventing the board from, if some of the members have met him and know him, is there anything preventing the board from approving his nomination?
No, not, I mean, we can move forward however we want, however people want to vote. I think Kathy was just raising that's been sort of our standard before, so it sort of sets the precedent.
But we have one applicant, so we're gonna interview him and we're still only gonna have one applicant.
I know, I
That's-
would think that if we could just move forward, that would be my advice.
Mine also, I think it's time to put this thing together, put the whole group together. Like I say, I know this guy to an extent from 2 personal meetings that were like hour and a half each. And I would highly recommend it, but if you guys aren't comfortable, with bringing him on without an interview, that's fine with me too.
Well, if you have an interview, it'll be one of 2 results. He'd either get, asked to be on the board, or we'd say we need to open up the application process again. I mean, I'm not trusting your judgment, but I just think because we've been scrutinized the way we have, that it probably would be wise for us to do what we have been doing. I have no problem if the rest of the board disagrees with me and votes to just go ahead and accept them. I'm just throwing in the, I guess, voice or lack thereof of caution.
I think it's only, it'd be a short meeting just to discuss, Mr. Kennerly. I think we should be able to do that Thursday or Friday this week if everybody's agreeable to that.
Mhm.
Did he say what
It
time?
would be, it would be a pretty quick meeting, I think. Once we all get a chance to review the document and ask him a few questions.
What the bylaws say. You know, is there any rule?
Mm-mm. The board doesn't even have to conduct interviews according to the bylaws. But we have conducted interviews every time,
Right.
so.
Well, here again, if you feel strongly and just wanna move to go ahead, then we can have a vote on that. Or I'm just throwing in my 2 cents. I don't think I'm gonna throw it in as a motion.
Yeah, there's nothing in his, what he submitted that worries me at all. But again, I think in following what Kathy says, it might be worth the effort just to have a short meeting, discuss his qualifications and such, and have a vote if that's doable. But if not, at the same time, I don't have any problem with what I saw that he in his submittal. So it's kind of maybe we just should take a vote on this. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I
since
don't
there
know
isn't
why-
anyone else that's going against him.
I don't know what his vote count number was. He just ran for sheriff. The guy has a great deal of support from this community, as a sheriff. So, I mean, he is a police officer for the tribe right now. I'm pretty sure this guy's totally legit. We're gonna be getting a great partner in this. So you guys, again, we can do whatever you guys want, but I wouldn't hesitate to making a motion to go ahead and taking a vote right now.
are you
Okay.
making?
I'll make a motion to take this vote right now. If it's not in agreement with enough of us, then we will have an interview.
All right,
Okay.
is there a
I
second?
second that.
All right, moment of truth. Okay, all those in favor of moving forward with Greg Ketterly as the new board member, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay.
There
Nay.
wasn't very many answers, but.
Well, we didn't get, no.
I know,
I didn't
Lisa,
hear
how do you
everybody.
vote? I know how you, well,
I want to hear at least like this.
Lisa, how do you vote?
You're muted, Lisa.
I'm sorry, it will not unmute. But I've been trying to say that
you
I'm in favor of it, but holy cow.
Okay, so that was how many in favor? 3?
Was it John Estelle?
I said aye.
Okay.
Okay, and how did you vote?
Abstain.
I don't know if you can abstain, actually.
I think you either have to oppose or.
Yeah, I think you have to vote unless you have a conflict of interest. But you
Jump
wanna-
off the fence, Kathy.
Well,
Jump off
my
the fence.
conflict of interest is I have problems with law enforcement because of my ex-husband.
That is.
I'm afraid to
For the
expose
record.
Greg to Kathy, you know. You better do this without an interview.
I voted nay,
You voted nay, so we have 3-2.
so it passes.
It passes.
Are you,
That's
you're nay, then? Okay, she's nay.
only to be contrary because of Tom.
I voted nay too.
Brings that out in people.
He does, doesn't he?
All right, so the motion passes
So
and
we have a new board member.
Greg Kennerly is now part of our board. And I would like to say my nay is because I agree with Kathy. I think that I would have liked to do an interview. But I'm very happy to welcome him to our board. He comes very highly recommended. And like I said, the other person who applied actually stepped aside so that he could take on this position because she also thinks very highly of him. So
And that's something.
Yeah.
Now, do we have to get him,
yeah, we'll have to
Sworn
swear
in.
him in, well, we have to set another meeting,
Okay.
unfortunately. Because we have a couple of things that we need to go through in our compliance review before the 30 days is up, and so we are gonna have to convene a special meeting.
maybe we can swear him in.
We can swear him in during
Okay.
that. Okay,
Let's make it on a Thursday or Friday.
yeah,
How about a week from Thursday?
yeah, we can take a little bit of a break.
For Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Mm. Yeah, probably after the holidays.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, when we do our agenda build, I think. Okay, so where are we? Employee handbook. So 9.2, our employee handbook, there's a summary of changes that Sherry outlined for us. Did everybody have a chance to look at those, and do you have any questions?
So I emailed everybody the old handbook and the new handbook. They are very lengthy. They're like 100 and some pages each. So I did not print them off, but I can post them on the website if, people want to review them. So our old handbook was adopted back in, I believe it was 2021 or 2020. And Becky, had been in touch with special districts. And special districts provided us with a new template. Our current handbook is lacking in a lot of areas, areas that are required by law to meet like bully laws and things like that. So their template included, and they had them in red. They were like, these sections have to be in your handbook.
Mhm.
And a lot of those sections we did not even have in the handbook. So essentially the entire handbook has been revamped, with language that has been provided to us by special districts. And then we tweaked the areas, like PTO accruals and paid holidays and things like that that are, specific to our district. So, the three areas of the handbook that really, impact the employees. So currently, all of our employees, except for the salaried folks, all of our hourly employees, for the holidays that the district is closed and we're not even running buses, so we are closed completely. Those employees have to use their own PTO to have the holiday paid. And the new, handbook, we are, requesting, and especially since the employees, has been no COLA, or merit increases this year. And not to say that that can't be revisited throughout the year, but we just thought maybe it would be nice to be able, most government entities provide the holidays with pay. They don't make them use their own vacation or, their PTO. So, the new handbook has in there, all of the district holidays where we are closed and the buses are not on the road for those hourly employees to get the holiday with pay without using their own PTO. There was also another section in there that talked about how PTO was accrued, because we do not have a vacation in the sick pay. We have one bucket, it's PTO. And the current handbook has about 6 different breakdowns. It was like 0 to 15 hours, they got no PTO, and that's against bully law. They say for every 30 hours an employee works, we have to provide them with 1 hour of sick pay. And currently we were not offering anything. And then it went from like 16 hours to 20 hours and then 20 to 24 hours. It was like a lot of having to look, especially with our part-time people, like where do they fall? Some people only work 1 or 2 days a week or 1 day a week. So it was very difficult to try to figure out what accrual rate they were supposed to be at. So we had recommended that we, only have a full-time and a part-time. So, and that's the same for our benefits. So if part-time, and they have to work at least 25 hours according to our contracts with SDIS to be eligible for benefits. So anything under the 25-hour mark, they are considered a part-time, non-benefited employee. And we are proposing to have them just accrue at, right now, a full-time employee. They would start out accruing 6.76 hours per pay period. And that's been that way since I've been here. And then at every like 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, that you kind of get a little bit bump. So we're just proposing that we have a full-time rate starting out at 6.75 or a part-time rate at like 3.84, I think it is the halfway. So that, um, that's in there. And then we currently do not have any policy in there on a limit of paying out somebody's PTO. So, I know that we've paid out some pretty hefty PTO amounts here recently. And we are, proposing that we have a limit. And limit it to 240 hours. So you can have 240 hours on the books. And if you leave the company, you'll get paid out. If you have, 400 or 500, you're not gonna get paid out any more than the 240 hours. It also, encourages the employees to use their time off and to have a better work-life balance. Instead of just banking away all this PTO. A lot of companies have vacation and sick leave, and they don't pay out your sick leave when you
Yeah.
leave the company. They'll only pay out your vacation. And ours is together, so people, we've had people that have had, 400 or 500 hours that we've had to pay out, which can be, tens of thousands of dollars when they leave. So that is in the new handbook to put a limit on it at 240 hours. So those are the three areas that affect the employees the most.
How about overtime? Do we have any, what's in the handbook for overtime? Are there limitations on it?
So, we have to go by those Oregon state laws, and we have to pay them time and a half of anything over the 40-hour mark.
Do we have drivers that are regularly getting overtime?
We do, well, so we did, before, May, when we were, yes, so we have. It is strictly prohibited right now unless it is route related and we just don't have coverage. There's certain times, especially right now with Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, where, drivers have put in to have time off. And then, of course, you have somebody call out sick when you're already shorthanded. So sometimes it cannot be avoided. But it was, happening on a regular basis there for quite a while. And that is not happening. It's been pretty limited now. We've been under like the, couple $100 mark. Generally, every pay period, there's a little bit, but, they've been doing much better. So anything over the 40 hours in 1 week, they get paid, a time and a half. And
And
that's
so the holiday pay, it is based on, straight time.
straight time. Yep, it would be straight time, but, they just wouldn't have to use their own PTO to cover.
Right.
Which, I just never kind of understood that anyways, especially being a government entity.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a very nice little bonus for the holiday.
No,
You can have it off, or we're closed and we're not open, but you have to use your own.
We definitely want
PTO
to have
cover
the
your
workforce.
And it was also, like the driver's side were having to use their PTO, but upstairs they didn't have to.
Mhm.
The salaried people don't have to because they're salaried, and so they don't, and then the hourlies do. And it's not a good system.
Yeah,
And to me, it's unfair. And so I just think since we haven't been able to offer them much of anything this year, that at least we can provide them with their holidays with pay.
are we voting on this tonight,
Without
or has this already been provided to the drivers for them to look at?
We have to vote on this.
You have to.
Have they looked at this, just out of curiosity? Have our employees looked at this new handbook?
They have not.
They have
been
not, okay.
provided
Once
with
it's
it yet.
approved, we'll
Once it's
distribute it.
approved.
Uh-huh,
Mhm.
With some good news, hopefully.
yes.
So I do have a question though.
Okay.
Is there any financial impact to these changes?
Most people, like, we just had the Veterans Day holiday, so most of our drivers are opting to use their PTO to be
Mhm.
paid, so
So we were paying it anyway.
we're paying it anyways. It's just allowing them to not have to,
Use their
to
PTO.
use their PTO to do it. So not much of a financial impact, no.
Okay,
Are those holidays basically the federal?
So, yes, there are, and I didn't bring it in here with me. There are two sets of holidays, so we have all of the government holidays that are listed basically so we have administrative holidays and we have the driver's holidays. So not all holidays are the routes offline, so they are out there driving. But like I think there was like a Martin Luther King and I don't know, a couple of those holidays where administratively we can take the day off. but they're still working. So we do have different holidays, but for the drivers, it's all your basic holidays, your Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Labor Day, all the days that we are really closed and no drivers are out on route.
I have another question.
Okay.
Regarding the people with tenure who are getting less PTO in this new rate, how many people do we have impacted by that?
We don't really have I don't think we have anybody that's really gonna be impacted by it.
Okay.
Our 0 to 15 hours are now gonna actually get something. Now, the people with tenure, if we do have, like I said, at like after the 3-year mark, you get bumped up, I think it's like an hour every pay period. And then at the 7-year mark, you get another year. So everybody's gonna remain where they are if if they have the tenure. We don't really have all of our full-time benefited people are actually they're gonna do better off because they're not gonna be at like a 4 something or a 5 something, they're gonna be at the 6.76 if you're full-time benefited. If you're part-time not benefited, then you're gonna be just at that the half rate.
So we are not removing
No,
any benefit from people who have earned that under the prior structure.
no,
Okay.
no.
You're saying the benefit of having these hours available, should they quit? So you had a number of people or a few people that quit and got that whole sum total. We're not gonna have anybody that's working for us right now, that if they were to quit today, they would lose
We
anything.
have maybe a couple of those employees, but it's gonna encourage them to start taking some of their time off and using their PTO.
They'll
and
still
take-
have their
they'll still
PTO
have it.
if they quit or their job is terminated, then they can only get paid out to 240. So if let's say they have 400 hours, they gotta start using it.
Yeah.
And that's the work-life balance piece, but it's not like we're taking something away from
Correct.
them. They gotta use their PTO.
Right.
If they quit, then they only get 240.
Yeah.
It's like
so-
selling your stock after it goes down.
Exactly.
Only
Call
sell when it's
hedging your
going up.
bets, man.
But the rate, my specific question was about the rate that they're accruing at.
Yeah, nobody's gonna be impacted where they're gonna be put at a lesser rate.
Okay,
If anything, they might
That
get
was-
bumped up
They're gonna
to a
get
little
bumped
bit.
Okay.
Higher rate.
that's more fine with me. I just, like when you work for so many years and then you get that higher accrual rate.
Yeah.
To lose that, I'd be mad.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
still, in the new handbook, it still has the different categories for
For
as,
tenure.
yeah, for
Okay.
tenure. Mhm.
Perfect.
And the part-time is just at half of whatever
Mhm.
the full-time is at each tenure.
This sounds like a
Right.
great thing that we could do for our staff, so.
It's small things, but,
Yeah.
that impact them, but I think, especially with the holidays coming, I think a lot of them would appreciate. being
And usually
able
the
to-
impacts to staff have not been positive, so
Yeah.
it's nice to bring
Yeah.
those positive impacts.
Are there any other questions for Sherry or are we ready for a motion? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2024 employee handbook.
So moved.
Kathy moves. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
You guys are taking care of everything today. All right, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Pausing for just a second.
Lisa and John,
Aye, Captain.
Lisa might be having
Yeah,
an
that was
issue
your-
again, hold on.
This is beating on that mute as we speak.
Maybe she wants to say nay. Lisa, how do you vote?
Sorry, it's me.
Lisa using the Pony Express.
Was that a yay or a nay?
Yay. Sorry, there was someone at the door. That's why I don't like doing these at the house.
Okay, so it looks like it passed unanimously.
All
right.
Hold on. Jennifer had something in the chat about the public meetings, which a decision is made, quorum is required, attend public meeting laws for. Or, get out there. Who's responsible for compliance?
That was just the link to that training class that I was
Oh, okay.
talking about.
Okay, that wasn't anything that we were voting on. Okay, and then Elaine said that she has met him. He is a stand-up guy. That was on our board guy.
Awesome.
So did we have, we had 5 then?
Yeah, unanimous.
Okay.
For
and
that.
then the one absent. Okay.
Yeah. Where are we? Oh, 10. We're moving right along. Not even 7 o'clock yet. Great job, you guys. Okay, STIP project updates.
I don't really have anything to update with the STIF projects. I mean, we're just basically continuing to keep our services running and I am working on the STIF allocations. Jennifer did just send out some new allocations. I don't know, Jennifer, did you get any feedback on the 20% on the new calculations, or is it 20% on the old?
August,
For the August?
for the
Okay.
August.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. But yes, we did get some new rates from ODOT just recently for the next STIF plan for the 25-27, which gave us even it was about $300,000 more than what the estimates came out in August. So
Good.
that was
That's
good.
nice.
News. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That was
cool.
good.
Okay, any questions? All right, action plan updates. We actually have this on here twice. We have it under old business and project updates.
Okay.
So I think we can skip that unless you guys want to talk more about our action plan. Okay, general manager report.
Well, I guess it's a good timing for that because this is the 5th week since I started the first week as the general manager after you guys hired me. In the past 4 weeks, I'll just kind of give you guys an overview of what we've accomplished so far. Number one, we've gotten through the organizational restructure and we are, as you can tell, we're hitting on all cylinders right now in terms of our compliance, our procurement policies, and Sherry is crushing it, handling everything. She knows how to do everything around here. She's got, and unfortunately, she's doing everything around here. But we're really trying to pull things off of her plate so she can begin that initial strategy with the restructure, which is get Sherry focused on financing and finding money, grants and securing funds. I think it's super critical that position does that. And we've moved things around. We've given basically an assistant to Sherry. That's already doing a lot of the invoicing, so she can handle ARAP. Pulled her upstairs, and that's going very, very well. We obviously know we moved Andre into facilities and procurement, which has been very, very good. We gave a promotion to one of the transit supervisors who's now leading the transit supervision, and she's developing. And we also brought up one of our best drivers to move into that position, who's also got leadership experience, business ownership and leadership experience. So we think that's going to be really helpful. We are we've positioned things well to where we can start to open up our drivers and hiring pool to offering CDLs and the training and start developing that here in-house, which is part of why we made the moves and the decisions of the individuals that we did. So that's really, really encouraging right now. I think morale here has gone up very high. One of the things that I said I would do and we've done is we've untied everybody's hands. And it's created a little bit of rockiness because people are used to not being able to do anything. And so they're really used to blaming others for their problems. But we don't do that anymore because we have the liberty to solve our own problems and we also have the responsibility to solve our own problems now. It's like a requirement. There's certain things that I want to handle and there's certain things I don't want to handle. And people are learning about, oh, you want me to handle that? Yes, we do. Go handle it. And so it's been really well. I feel initially when we came in and did the assessment, there was a certain energy here. That energy to me is much more positive, much more just positive and higher energy. It's very, very cool. People are doing very good here. Like the management team, the executive team, they're crushing it, they're killing it. You can see that they're getting a lot of satisfaction out of their work. I think that's really, really big. So one of the other things is that, in that first week, I think we're about 3 weeks away from insolvency, or at least the threat of insolvency. We are no longer insolvent. We've worked with ODOT. The relationships are being developed at ODOT with Jennifer, and Jennifer's incredibly awesome. I mean, she's there. I can't believe how much she works and how hard she works for our district. And that means a lot to me. It means a lot to everybody here. She's provided a ton of support, a ton of great information. Really amazing to have that resource. And so we've leveraged that resource, and we're really looking to crush all of our compliance issues and stay 100% compliant. That's our goal. So we're going to do, and we're getting very close to that. And so again, really grateful for those relationships. We're grateful for the funding from ODOT. We're grateful for the support. And so we are not insolvent. We don't see ourselves as becoming insolvent. We see ourselves as being able to provide transit service to the community for a very, very, very long time. The other thing is that this organizational restructure created right now a surplus of $50,000. We are looking to end this fiscal year with, I think, around 240,000 we can put toward reserves. And with that extra 300, we were just a week ago, we were in the whole 150,000 projected next year. Now we're up 150,000. So we went very close to the wall, but we did not go into the wall. And we're back to full speed here, it feels like. So as we're moving through some of the hiccups and hangups that are just here from the lack of structure, the lack of process. I think the next month from now, I think we're going to see an even faster rate of success for us. So yeah, really, really, really good stuff. So anyway, that's about what I got for right now. I'm just proud of everybody here that stepped up and performed triage, and with that freedom and with that responsibility, they did absolutely wonderfully with it. So I'm just, I don't know, I'm really proud of everybody here.
Well, thank you so much, Ben, and we appreciate your leadership.
Thank you, Ben. The latest articles in the news review have been wonderful. There haven't been any.
Yeah, it's been a lot of crickets lately, hasn't there?
Yeah, we want to keep it that
I
way.
love the sound of crickets.
So we have access update on here, and I actually think this is from previously when we were transitioning. Is
Okay,
that correct? I think that was for gaining access to
okay.
different systems.
I don't know, it was just on there.
I know, I think it,
Okay.
I think it's an artifact.
Okay.
A prior meeting, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that one.
Are we, are we anywhere with the IT? You know, how we are.
Yes.
Yeah, so IT, the big thing we wanted to do was get through tonight to finalize the procurement. We were really focused on making sure that our procurement systems are in place and making sure that when we contract a new IT, because we definitely need new IT. So we're through that tonight. I think that we can start looking at making decisions, pretty much after tonight. I've already spoke with one of the RFPs. I've got a meeting with them, and I'll be meeting with the other two, hopefully this week, at least communicating with them, and we'll figure out and make a good decision around what we're gonna do.
And I think we figured out the call center queue issue.
Oh, good.
So I'm just waiting for a cost.
Mhm.
Apparently, in the transition from Mitel to Ring Central, we had the queue. It was we had access to, it was an add-on feature, but it was called Bridge Communications, and that's where our queue was housed. And it was a 30-day trial. And apparently, we didn't know that, and we do now. So,
I could be wrong.
They need some new sales reps over there.
yeah, so I have requested to find out what that add-on piece costs.
Yeah,
And right now, our bill is about $400 less than what it was with Mitel, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's gonna come in, at that same rate, and we won't will be fine.
Easy
And we can,
fix.
yeah, and it's actually gonna be hopefully an easy fix, I
Yeah.
think, so.
And how about for an executive assistant?
Hired, and, starting in, I think it's week after next. And so that's another thing that's gonna make, help us create. Cause also one of the things we're doing with the GM position is getting it positioned to be outside focused.
Mhm.
Partnerships and, community development and all that stuff, and then driving in some new revenue streams. That's kind of where I think it should be. So once that happens, I think we're gonna have a really good, we'll be really set up for it.
That's great.
Also, there's the IT companies are talking, all of them are saying with the bus tracker system where the drivers communicate, they all think it's a server issue
Oh,
that can be resolved on their end,
Perfect.
which is.
Yeah.
The radios are being worked on as well, Andres.
I think Andre got some information
Yeah.
on that actually.
He got all
that.
recently.
Great.
Yeah, so we're working through our problems.
great.
Is
Okay.
the
Yeah,
assistant local? Is it a local person that hired for the assistant?
Yes,
Yes,
So she's gonna be here, 40 hours a week?
40 hours a week,
Right at that.
if
front
not
desk.
more.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah,
Andre,
I
did you-
spoke with Silky Communications, and as of Friday, they installed a new repeater up on Thomas Mountain. They had a few finalizations left to do, but they are asking for us to start performing tests on the radios pretty soon here to make sure, see if that's resolved that issue.
He's so great.
Mhm.
It's crazy when you put
Yeah.
someone in charge of facilities, what happens?
Great job, Andre.
Get your facilities fixed.
Thank you.
Well, it's almost like a night and day.
Even the hole in my ceiling's no longer there. I love it.
No more leaks or anything like that?
And thanks for that, Andre, I appreciate that.
But it is like night and day. I mean, you think back,
Yeah,
like even 6 weeks,
I know.
how the atmosphere for everybody was. It's
Yeah.
really nice. So I
There's a lot
appreciate
of
you.
positive energy.
And I appreciate your leadership too, Michaela,
Oh, thank you.
because no matter what the news review says, you've done a really good job.
They're not saying anything, Kevin.
Well, what they've said, but no matter what
Everything
they
is good
say.
news, right? At this
That's
point.
right, that's right.
And just part of the general manager, there's the ridership numbers were provided to everybody in
Thank
case
you.
you wanted to see them.
Yeah, and I do wanna say, last week, we had the biggest daily number of
Ridership.
rides in the history of the UPTD. That happened
Really?
I think it was Thursday or Wednesday last week.
I can't remember which day,
Yeah,
but you're
hundred
right.
and 28 riders, something like
Yeah.
that for the day. It was our record. It's a daily
Oh,
record.
yeah. So
What,
we were-
what was there? Did you?
It's just good, it's good energy. It's just good energy.
Perfect. We get this, we keep this going, we'll have Drew come down and do some interviews.
There we go.
Exactly. I'm
Oh,
sure,
you
yeah.
guys. Okay, so we'll move on to not on agenda. I know that, I know Ben had something, regarding some budget changes,
Yes.
correct? So you wanna go ahead and tackle that one right now?
Yeah, so we need the board approval to move some money from the training, budget over to advertising. We want to take a bus and demonstrate what it looks like to do a full wrap, an advertisement. We're thinking something very cool, like patriotic or something like that we could do, but the cost of it's gonna be around $5,000. But what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna use it as a marketing tool to go after some of our local organizations, local businesses, to show them that a full wrap bus, what it could look like and what it could do for their business. So I'll be developing, once we get George up and running, I'm gonna be developing an advertising revenue, I would say, operation. So that we can go from a couple $1,000s a quarter to more like $20,000 a quarter. Cause I think we have the inventory, the marketing advertising inventory to do that, but the first thing we're gonna need is we're gonna need to showcase what our capabilities are, because our capabilities just changed with me coming on board. So we're gonna, that's my plan. That $5,000 will be spent on a wrap, and hopefully be less than that, but that's kind of the max. But a full wrap, and then we'll use that to sell more wraps.
And so when that $5,000 is spent and then it starts generating revenue for us, are we going to be able to replenish that 5,000 back into training?
You're the board.
Okay.
You can pull money out of that bucket and stick it right into training. We could also use some of the revenue. It's a little bit, I think I'm being fairly realistic. I'm also a little optimistic in general, but I think I'm being pretty realistic that I can convert that into $100,000 a year income stream. Just working with a few partners and improving the offering for the advertising. So I think there's going to be a really good ROI for that. And I don't know if that 100,000 will be this year, the first year, but I definitely think within 2 years that could be a 6-figure discretionary income source for the district to help just self-sustain it. And that's really key. Self-sustainment is really, really key. So
Those are traveling billboards.
they are absolutely traveling billboards. And if you do it right, they're very effective. But right now we're not doing it right. We're getting sort of really easy to miss things on the buses. They're not professionally designed. They're not, really thought through in terms of impact. So when I look at an advertising campaign for generating revenue for the district, I think that there has to be really good understanding around how we have to focus on the service of maximizing their advertising investment. And we're not doing that whatsoever. And so it almost feels like charity if somebody's advertising on our bus, because it's really not giving them as much as they really truly could get for the money. And I think that's kind of phase one. And then phase two is charging the right amount of money and giving them more than, giving them the good ROI on their advertisement and being able to track that. So there's some things that, we can talk about, but I have a plan developing for it, and that $5,000 will get us kicked off.
Some design services from Ben, maybe?
I can do it. Or I have other people that are even better, and we can go through a process for that. But really, I can actually design it. I have the capabilities to design really nice ads. So it's something that wouldn't cost the district any extra money.
So how about vendors? Have you already contacted vendors to do these wraps?
We already have a current vendor in place, but I think I would go to Andre and say, hey, let's do an RFP. Let's look around, let's see what we got, because I think the money that we're paying right now is higher than I think we need to be paying, but it depends on who's available. If there's only one real good skilled vendor, that makes sense, right? But I think we need to look at all of that. I've requested, and I know Sherry's working on it, but she might have already even sent it to me, but I'm looking for all the contacts that we have in our advertising side so that I can begin reaching out to them. I think building a relationship with them is going to be really critical, especially finding out what their needs are, what their goals are. That'll help shape our program. And so I really want to work with them to do that. But again, we've all been just so immersed in the RLS and findings and getting into compliance that we can't really get past that. This is a weight kind of holding us down, but we're really lifting off. So I really see this coming around, and the money wouldn't be spent until it's ready. But we just need it to be allocated by the board, just that 5,000. I think we have 15 or so thousand in the training budget. Is that right?
It's a little more than that.
A little more than that, but that gives us that, and I think this will bring the money back into the training and probably increase it. So
Jennifer has her hand up.
Oh, Jennifer has her hand up. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to remind you that if you are doing contracts with folks, you want to make sure you put the FTA clauses in those contracts because these are FTA funded buses. So if you're using them, you want to make sure that you have all your clauses for the contracts for the advertising. And then following the spending as far as when you're generating revenue off of the FTA funded buses, then you have to make sure that you're spending it in the proper quarter, because you can't always spend it in the same period of time that you took it in. So just making sure all of that.
4 weeks into this job, I go, that makes total sense. Thanks, Jennifer.
On advertising revenue, with the quarter that you earn it in, you can't apply it to your expenses for that quarter. You have to do it in the next quarter. So it's just one of those
red tape.
Yeah.
And Andre's probably gonna be working right with you on these wraps as far as vision for the drivers and everything not being impeded. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've tried that already. That's what the reports I'm getting as well from the drivers. The issue is that they're just using a lower grade vinyl that's this that, it's harder to
Supposed
see
to be
through.
see
Yeah,
through,
so
but it's not.
better quality product
Yeah,
would resolve that tremendously. So,
good.
and then of course it depends too on window tinting and stuff like that. And also there's ways you can do it where, you're not going all the way across entire windows, especially if they're close to where drivers are needing to see things. So, you can, make it look like it and just design it correctly.
Yeah.
So that drivers can see. So, but I think vision, design and product quality can fix that.
Okay,
And we can test it too. Hey, give me a piece of this and sort over a window and see if this is gonna work.
Mhm.
And then test it out before you go all in with the bus.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the advertising world, you learn to test.
well, I would make a motion then that we set aside $5,000 to this initial wrap to see where we go with
We're
it.
reallocating from the
Yeah,
training.
you have to,
Reallocate.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
we're
we're
reallocating.
reallocating it from,
From
to-
the training budget under operations to the advertising bucket
Okay,
under operations.
So the motion is to reallocate the money, $5,000 from the operations budget for training into advertising. Is that your motion?
Yes,
I'll second.
And Kathy, second. All those in favor? Say aye.
I,
Not
Lisa-
everybody. All
Lisa,
those opposed?
I did it.
Lisa, nice job.
She's,
That was beautiful.
oh my
Perfect,
word,
you guys.
should
Okay, it
do-
passes. Anything else for not on agenda?
Did you,
We're making pretty good time considering how many agenda
have
items we
something?
have.
I do have one thing that I need to ask is, with any documents that you share, they need to go to, David Campbell, myself, and then my manager, Vanessa Vizier. And I will put their email addresses in, the chat. So just need to have all of those people copied because if I got run over by a bus or something like that, you would have to work with somebody else.
Well, we hope you do not get run
We
over
do
by
not
bus.
want that to happen.
No, no,
And
that would
we
be very sad, Jennifer. Very,
we
very
can
sad.
take the conversation offline on that specific item. Jennifer, I am curious about the outcome of the investigation that was completed by ODOT, but we don't have to discuss that at this time. All right. Public comment. All right, once again, if you would like to participate in public comment, if you can either put something in the chat or briefly come off of mute and let me know your name, we will recognize people who would like to speak for public comment. You have public comment? Okay. Do you have public comment? No. All right. Nobody else online, do you have public comment? All right. Go ahead, Kat.
Kat Stone, Roseburg-ish, and former member of the board. I wanted to say that I have been very pleased with what I've seen with what you've done. Very. I think you were the dog that caught the car. The ethics and everything was real iffy, but I think you did well, and I think you're gonna do well. And I'm so glad.
Thank you,
Because I
Kat.
was really worried.
Oh,
That means a lot.
that does, seriously
that
means a lot.
really means a lot.
Mhm.
And so the other part is about the public record being on the YouTube.
Mhm.
And it shouldn't take as long as it's taken because basically we never recorded any executive session and you shouldn't edit the public record.
We did unfortunately record the executive session, so they have
Oh
to be
my
taken
God.
out of there, I
Do
know.
they?
Yes, but there are 2 new videos up as of today,
Okay,
and I'm still slowly working through it. The biggest problem is having to download and then cut and then upload again, because the files are so large that it just takes time
oh yeah.
to deal with it, but we are working through it. I have, I think, 5 more videos that I'm ready to upload, so I'm going to be working on that. We had to work through compliance things to get to today.
Oh.
So because we had to pass those today, to keep the compliance thing going, but that is being worked on. So,
Okay,
yeah,
I wait.
there are two more up there, so watch them tonight. You know, if you haven't had your fill.
Never get my fill in public.
Michaela, you're a rock star.
Yes.
You really
thank
are.
For all the
Thank
time. you
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you so
Right,
much.
Yeah, the amount of time you guys are putting in.
We do have a suggestion.
Oh.
If you guys end up getting the new revenue streams that you're talking about, maybe get some nicer chairs in. Already on the list.
Yeah,
They were nice.
just save one bucking one for me.
It sounds
like
one of these, you
Well, one of the buckers, you know, and I need to have to know.
It sounds like
And I
your
have to
bus
really-
has crashed into a camel or something.
I know, it's like, we're very,
Yeah, yeah.
That's a bus crashing into a camel. WD-40.
we might have an opportunity to check out surplus, you know, there might be.
I can get my facilities guy on that squeak too. If you
Andre?
We have a great facility.
I'm sure he's busy with.
Okay, we didn't have- we
It's
don't
on,
have
it's on the
any-
list. It's on there, but it's on it.
Did we have any, we didn't have any public comment online, right?
No,
No,
I
we
have
see
no
it.
hands raised and I have nobody in the chat.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to our agenda build. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is. One, two, three, oh wait,
The
But
16th.
you said that we
16th,
need
December
another
16th.
meeting.
We do. Our next regularly scheduled is going to be December 16th. And let's go ahead and build that agenda first because our special meeting is going to be very limited agenda. So December 16th at 5:30 is our normal meeting. We need to, we're gonna have to do 2 sets of minutes, but maybe 3 sets of minutes, actually. We'll have to do today's and special meeting. Okay, so 3 minutes. We'll do our ODOT update, of course. Our financial report is the same. Are you gonna have your recommendation?
Yeah, so we will have to have our recommendations for the stiff allocations.
Okay.
And at the December because the application is due in January, so.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have that. Will be reoccurring again. Okay, and then. Public comment, of course, old business, status of Delarade contracts. We don't need that again. The compliance review, we'll do another update on compliance review. I think we should keep that on. But we can kind of put those together, compliance review, action plan update, just consolidate those. Okay, and then anything else under old business? Oh, the board vacancy. That's gonna be done.
That's
That'll
gonna
be
be at
done.
the special.
That'll be at
meeting,
the
right?
special meeting, yeah.
Okay.
So do we have any other new business? If not, people can email me as usual. So no new business planned for right now. Project updates. We'll do our stiff project update and our general manager's report again. Okay, and then that's it. So let's decide on our special meeting. Do you guys, do we need to pick this right now, or do you guys want me to reach out to Greg and find out sometimes that he's available? I don't want to schedule it now and then.
So this is for a swearing in, is that what this is, especially?
Yeah, we have to swear. Well, actually, does he have to be here for the swearing in?
That's what I was gonna ask.
He has to do something with the notary, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it doesn't have to happen during a live meeting.
But I think that you can do it even at the next board meeting.
That's true. Well, we still have to have a special meeting anyway to do additional 30-day compliance update. So we'll swear him in, so that's a good idea. So we'll swear him in at that. When are we doing it? When's the end of our 30 days?
December 9th, I think. Is that correct, Jennifer? Is our 30-day?
Yes.
So, and next week is Thanksgiving. So we either,
And Jennifer would prefer if we don't wait until the last day.
Yeah.
And I think we sort of made a promise that we're gonna try to make that not our MO anymore. So,
Stiff Stack,
Not wait till the last day.
Stiff Stack is meeting
Stack
on
is on the-
Wednesday, the 4th.
right.
It's gonna get so boring around here.
I know, it's exciting when you're working overtime to get that homework done.
do you think you would have enough time? Okay, Stiff Stack is meeting. on the fourth.
At 5:30.
I mean, we could do an earlier meeting, that day and meet ahead of Stiff Stack if you guys want. Or we can do. I'm probably gonna attend the Stiff Stack just because I like to listen. So that, I mean, that would work well for me, but what does everybody else think?
Is this gonna be a remote meeting?
It'll be remote or in person, however you want to attend.
Okay.
So
I'm not working right now, so I can pretty much do whatever.
do we want to do December 4th at 4?
Sure.
And that'll be pending Greg being able to do it.
Oh, that's right. I think we should stick with Thursday, Fridays for right now until I confirm with him. Because he said Thursday, Fridays.
So the 5th.
So let's do, why don't we do, yeah, Thursday the 5th. We can still do it 4 o'clock if you guys want.
Is that it?
Do you have any feelings about that online, John or Lisa?
No, that should work for me.
Okay,
The December 5th at 4 o'clock.
And our agenda is going to be to swear in our new board member and to finalize all of our 30-day compliance.
So this should be, you said, a pretty quick meeting.
It should be because we knocked out a bunch of the compliance findings today, and we'll get those over to Jennifer to review and make sure we don't need to tweak anything. But then this is just gonna be, there aren't a whole lot of other board items that need to be.
There's really not a whole lot.
Yeah.
The rest of it is gonna just be on us to get it
Yeah.
Get it
set up
dialed
and
in,
then sent over to RLS and everybody else. We'll use that SharePoint to make it easy.
Yeah, so this is really just gonna be our sort of last, effort to just make sure everything is tied up with a pretty little bow. So we'll be working with Jennifer for the next couple of weeks to make sure that happens.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's right.
Somebody's gonna go ahead and contact a notary for the swearing.
Do you know a notary? We don't.
Who did Todd's?
Isn't Sam one?
I don't
Yeah,
know the
Sam
lady's
Frost.
name that did.
Oh, is she a
Good
notary?
Sam Frost is a notary.
Oh, okay, well, let's have her do it. I bet she'd do it. Okay,
There you
who
go.
wants to reach out to her?
I'll do it.
Thank
And,
you.
and what about the swearing? Are we gonna have our county clerk make a special trip down?
Who's contacting Dan?
Oh.
No, we don't
We
need him.
may
to
not be
do
on
it.
speaking terms on
Okay, we have, Dan,
I didn't think that through.
Can I call him?
we don't need him to swear in. We can do it
Oh,
ourselves.
shoot, okay.
Unless he wants to attend, and he
Here,
is
can you-
always welcome
Do
to
you have
attend these.
forms?
Yeah.
Like what has to be read and all of that?
It is somewhere.
Okay,
You'll never.
I'll have to
find
find
it.
okay.
Okay, we have no executive session today. If nobody stops me right now, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting. All right, what time is it? 7:18, sorry, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.